Alright, this is the first step of the timney upgrade. About to push our pins out. I'm gonna try to make this quick for y'all. My first install was kind of horrible, so I didn't record it. But we got the second one in, so we're gonna record this one for y'all. Pin should come right out. You might have a little trouble on this, the bigger one at the bottom, but you might have to just wiggle your slide lock. Grip this little tool. And now the trigger housing should come out with your trigger. Stay tuned for part 2. Okay, now we got our frame stripped down. We took out all our pins, took out our little, I'm drawing a blank right now, but we took that out. Now assembling the timney. First thing you want to do, get your adjustment tool that come with it. You want to back this screw out a little bit. You don't have to take it all the way out, but you want to back it out enough to where you can fit this C washer that came with the springs. This little C washer right here. What I normally do is I stick it right here. Oops. I put it in there so that way it's holding. And what I like to do is grab your trigger housing. Get your spring out. Take your spring off. Your stock spring. Factory spring, however you want to say it, because I know there's some English teachers out there. And then what we got now is the barrel housing. What I'm about to do is wipe this off and I'll be back with y'all. Okay, reassembly. We're gonna take our little C washer that come with our 2 power springs right here. What I like to do, I like to sit the washer on top of the nut right there. And you might tighten it down a little bit, just to enough to where the washer don't fall off. And there's 2 ways you can install this washer. You can do it from up under here, which is a little harder, or you can do it the way I do it. I have no issues either way. So we're gonna grab the factory housing. Drop our little sear in there like that. Slightly push it, it should fall right in. What I like to do is I squirt a little oil, gun oil, not squirt, but just a drop. Just so it don't be as much friction when you first get it in there. Okay. Now we're back to the bottom. You see how the clamp, you can't see the little C washer, but you see the bolt. So what you want to do is take your tool, unscrew, get another little bit. You want to make sure your sear is seated all the way in. Bam, you heard that little snap. That was because I had the washer and the bolt on right here without a push down already. That's just how I do it. There's multiple ways you can do it. I'm doing it the way I see works for me. So we're gonna tighten that up. So let's tighten down. When it's tight, let's give it another little slight quarter turn. Bam. Where it's snug. We got that part there. Next thing you wanna do Grab your connector. Slide that on into right there, like so. And now, we're about ready to start putting this joint back. Now let's grab our power spring. I'll always use the color spring. Might be red, might be orange, might be blue, whatever color, I'll always use that. So what I like to do, take our washer, two sides pointed out. I'm gonna just sit that up there like that. Grab your frame. Actually, this will save you a step too. You can adjust your trigger a little bit before you get it in there. If you want to take some of the slop out of the trigger, take your little tools, to screw right here on the front. What I like to do is I like to fidget with it a little bit and then put it in the frame so that way I can play with it a little bit. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Okay, we're about to adjust our trigger slop a little bit before we get it in. What you're gonna do, you can either adjust it and then put it in like I do. And I like to see exactly how it feels. And make sure your trigger safety bar clears the frame, because you don't want to make your screw so tight that it does not catch your trigger safety. That's dangerous. Okay, we got that sat in there like that. So now let's make sure we clear the frame. See, that's a little too tight. I'm not clearing my frame. The trigger safety. Okay, be right back. All right, we're back. Put my slide lock on. It's just sitting there. I got my spring, my power spring sitting there, sitting on top of the trigger. Now, we're about to get our slide block. What you wanna do, you wanna take the front of the spring and bend it back. Then you wanna take your slide block and get it in there. It's gonna be a little challenging with two hands, but you'll be able to do it, because I did it. See? Don't worry about the slide lock. Okay, bam. It should sit like that. The trigger sitting in, got the spring behind the slide block. That's where your tension on your trigger is gonna come from. Now, we can take a pin, put it halfway in there. You might have to push down on your trigger a little bit or up, just to make sure it's aligned. Or what you can do, take a little tool and line up the holes right here. That way, it'll be easier for you to line the holes up to get them in there. I'm going to sit my slide lock back in there. What you want to do for the slide lock, you want to make sure this part of your stock slide lock go in front of the block, because you're going to push it back later at the end. So what do? You come up under, right next to your power spring, get your block sit down. It's not in or pinned in yet, so it should come up like this. Now, you come to the other side of the block. Down in here, you should see the spring. See the spring for your slide lock and your trigger. So now you want to take a punch or something small and push that trigger behind your slide block. You see how I made my I might not be able to use the slide spring on this one. I guess I will. It ain't all the way pinned down, I don't think. All right. Okay. Got all our pieces in. Got all our pins in. Well, now we do. Okay. Barrel back in. Taking out of that. Put our spring back in. Wipe your hands a little bit. Take your slide. Rack it a few times. Let's do the function test. Reset. Once again, I took all the slop out the trigger. So as soon as you put your finger on there, it's gonna go back, but you still hit the wall. Then it's a break. Oh yeah.